What's up, everybody? Welcome back inside the film room. Today, let's do a little national championship inside the film room here. The Miami defensive front is getting a ton of love, and they deserve it. I could have gone with Ruben Bain. I could have gone with Ahmad Moten. Today, I'm going to go with the guy opposite Ruben Bain. Obviously, Bain is getting a lot of hype, and deservedly so. He's going to go over in the first round. Akheem Mesidor, on the other side, is starting to pick up some buzz as well. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to dive into Akheem Mesidor's tape here against Ohio State, and we're going to evaluate what the tools are. In this game, he had a great output as well, had 6 pressures, 2 sacks, 3 stop tackles. Graded out pretty well across the board in this one. So we're going to take a deep dive into this one and see if the tape adds up. Can this guy go in the first round in a kind of a weak class after a heck of a playoff run, really, ever since week 11 on? He is, full season. You go back to the Florida game week 4, he's got 9 pressures, 1 sack. So, again, listed at 6'3", 280. And, again, the big talking point with Mesidor's profile is going to be the age. He is a 6th-year player. He is going to be 25 by the time he's drafted. Verified measure was at 6'2", 273, 32 and 3/8 inch arms. So not overwhelming length, not overwhelming, but pretty good depth, density there with the frame, 6'2", 273. But 32 3/8, we'll see if that holds up. But we're going to get into this tape here, kind of see what we think. Came into the summer with priority undrafted free agency grades on him. So we're gonna see kind of how this comes out with Mesidor here. So let's dive in. There's no need to keep talking about it here. And let me get his report up. Again, if this is your first time tapping into one of these things, I will have pauses and breaks, and I'm going to write this report as we watch. And kind of so I can break down what I'm seeing in the moment. But let's go and dive in. Okay, Akheem Mesidor is number 3, opposite Ruben Bain. I do want to talk about, yes, Akheem Mesidor is listed at 273 pounds, verified over the summer, right? If we're body typing, guys, there's a big difference between Bain's lower half. Hang with me here. I know how it sounds. But you can see the quads. You can see the calves. You can even see, if you want to talk about the ass a little bit, the Belichickian scouting thing where he'd go to the combine and look to see which guys had the bigger asses along the defensive and offensive line. It's a real thing. Body typing is a real thing. You go to Mesidor, listed at 273. He's a little flatter in the calves, a little flatter in the calves, a little flatter in the ass. So just going to throw that out there body typing wise. The frame isn't overly impressive on tape. Just starting out there. Again, hang with me. I know it sounds weird, but it's part of the process you got to hang with. So, all right, he's lined up across Austin Seerveld as well. Austin Seerveld's going back to school, Ohio State left tackle. He's definitely a guard at the NFL level, but a guy I had a top 50 grade on coming into the bowl game here. Again, Austin Seerveld's a guard playing tackle, so you have to interpret it through that, but we're going to get some good tape. And then Philip Daniels, look at the length here on him. He's a guy we're going to talk a lot about next year. So 2 decent tackles to get a good profile, get a good idea about here as well. I like the pad level. I don't necessarily like him shooting out head into the eyes into the dirt here. He's still lined up outside Seerveld on the left side there. Again, Seerveld lacks length too, and you can see these guys are going bar for bar lengthwise right here. 32-inch arm shows up big time. All right, he is over top of Philip Daniels on the right side now, over the right tackle. All right. Again, this guard is not Ohio State's starting guard. Ohio State has had an issue at right guard all season. They're starting right guards now with Kentucky because they kind of kicked him out a little bit. Watch how slow 58 gets off the ball here. And you can tell 58's going right here. Look at his eyes right off the snap. There's no misdirection with how he's going compared to this guy, Philip Daniels, who's going to end up kicking vertically here. Out with speed. And so, yes, Mesidor does a good job to reduce surface area. Again, if you've seen me talk about this before, think about a profile shot in taking a picture of somebody. If you're taking a picture of somebody head on, here's the head, here's the whole body, right? This is how much frame is exposed in that picture. If you're taking a picture of somebody from the side angle, right, like like the silhouette of the side of their face. That's what the word I was looking for, the silhouette. Where they're like turned sideways. You can only see the side of the head here and this, like this. That's what it looks like. And we're talking this amount of surface area exposed in that picture, right? Rushing the passer is the same way. Reducing surface area is the same way as well. Mesidor doesn't give up his chest. Reduces his surface area right here. Look at this. Reduces surface area. There's nothing to strike for this right guard. Again, the right guard's really late getting out of his stance. But his hands are on his back. Because Akheem Mesidor makes himself paper thin. Again, let's look at the ankles here. That's a fairly tight corner coming out of there, too, to corner onto Julian Sane. Corner onto the quarterback there. So I like what I see from the ankles in terms of ankle flexibility there, and I like what I see in the ability the ability to reduce surface area, which is a hip flexibility thing. So, throwing that out there right off the rip. All right. So, a couple things with this rep. One, not a whole lot of ability to convert speed to power. And again, for a 273-pounder, that's one thing you want to see is the ability to win through the chest. Again, my podcast co-host, James Foster, tracks pass rush moves used, and he has told me that Mesidor uses near the bottom in the ability to win with power. That shows up here, right? Right when you, especially because he's looping, and has the ability to build up a step or two through the chest of the right tackle here. Still not much pop in the hands. Still not much ability to convert speed to power. What I will say about this rep. Right tackle's got a pretty strong inside hand punch right here. Watch Mesidor's ability to replace the hand. To counter and replace the hand here. Does he win the rep? No. But you see that little flash of a forklift right there. And try to come back inside track there. All right. It's a backside. Not much going on there. Talk through. Backside. He's dropping into coverage here. Don't really care about those reps for a pass rusher, to be honest. It's going to happen every once in a while, but I'm not paying any attention to that in a scouting report. All right, what's the roll here? Are we spying? All right. He's lined up over the right tackle. So twice now I've seen this ability to corner. He doesn't win this rep here. Well, let me see if I can watch the other angle of it. But you can still see his ability to run the arc, and then when he gets to the depth of the quarterback, that ability to flatten, right? You see some guys who are really stiff in the ankles who they try to run the outside, and the offensive tackle is able to just run with them, and they end up taking super long arcs around the quarterback where the quarterback can just easily step up. I've seen with Mesidor here the ability to get the arc and then flatten. Take that tight turn. Cornering is what it's called. The ability to corner the quarterback. Now, again, doesn't necessarily win the rep here. Phil Daniels does a good job. Really good length here. That outside hand is actually a little shallow, but good job to corner quarterback. Sane has to step up right into Bane's lap. Still over right tackle here. All right. The one thing I want to look for in my defensive ends is when they are asked to take on pullers here. Do they initiate contact? Do they do it with physicality, or do they kind of flinch and shy? This kind of lends more towards the flinch and shy kind of initiate. Like he's not dropping his shoulder into that pulling left guard right here. Kind of taking it nose to nose. Don't love it. So that goes back to how much pop is in his hands as well. And I mentioned earlier in the rep where he was trying to convert speed to power and couldn't. Not much of a pop when he initiates contact. Kind of seeing the same thing here. But again, the lateral quickness is nice. Like, look at this. Beats Seerveld right across the face. And Seerveld's not even setting wide. Like, that's just a small kick. This is definitely a game that sends Seerveld back to school for sure, but Mesidor's got really nice lateral quickness to cross face, win back the inside track. Again, kind of I don't know why Seerveld's kicking out to begin with, because watch Mesidor's first step off the line of scrimmage here. It's this foot stepping in. So he's stepping in, Seerveld kicks out instead of jumping. I just think it's a bad understanding of protection as well from Seerveld, because the back's stepping up here. So yeah, he might be anticipating this nickel coming here. Might be why he stepped out, but he's got to know he's got the back out here. You don't have to overset out here and give up the inside track here the way he does. So that's a Seerveld thing here. But good job by Mesidor. Cross and face. Good lateral quickness. Again, reducing surface area. Look at right here. Bang. So he's a fluid athlete, man. Fluid athlete. Got 272. That's not anything. That's not just some nothing. So I'm going to take a moment to take a note here on the scouting report. Despite being verified over the summer, I'm not going to write that. Despite his naturally dense frame, Mesidor has a great deal of fluidity and lateral quickness to his game. Mesidor flashes the ability to win the inside track and cross the face of the blocker across from him in an instant. When taking the outside track, there is a surprising amount of flexion in his ankles to turn a tight corner. Mesidor also flashes the ability to reduce surface area and hide targets at a high level up front. Bang. Do I think he's like overly fluid? Like overly bendy? No. Like those overly fluid, overly bendy guys are reserved for the Von Millers, the Miles Garretts, the Brian Burns of the world. Like, this is clearly not one of those guys in terms of bend or ability to win the outside shoulder. But there's a surprising amount of flexion in those ankles. All right. I do wish we saw a little bit of a... I mean, he's reading run here. It's an RPO, so maybe he's playing the run first. I was going to say, I wish we had a better initial plan, but, like, this is the merit of having the L22 and be able to rewind. This is an RPO. Actually, it's just no, it's an RPO. Their run blockers are stepping out. So he's playing run first and then transitioning to a pass rusher. That's not a lack of an initial move. That's him playing the run first over here, over top of the left tackle. Again, not a lot of punch in the hands. Not a lot of punch in the hands. So I'm going to take a moment to put that in his play strength section as well. There's a desire to see a larger punch in the hands of Mesidor given his body type. When he initiates contact on the man across from him, there is not much shock value to speak of. This translates when he's asked to take on pulling guards head on